Welcome to Flashback, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. We'll begin on Monday when the Federal Capital Territory Administration sealed off more than 4,700 properties, including the headquarters of the PDP, because of non-payment of ground rents.
The FCTA has taken a firm stance in its action against what it terms persistent defaulters in the payment of ground rent. The administration says the action was taken to ensure compliance with land use regulations and to maintain the integrity of the extant laws. During the sealing-off exercise today, the FCTA disclosed that landowners have been issued revocation notices as a result of failure to adhere to their financial obligations.
We are going to follow up and repossess the revoked title by the FCTA administration. So today is just to comply with what we have said, that we are going to take over all the revoked properties. And we are starting with plot 534, cadastral zone A02, that is Wuse 1, which is being owned by Total PLC. So this is just walking the talk, making it reality.
For this particular property, they are owing the FCTA 34 years ground rent. 34. So the property was revoked on account of this. And today we are here to take possession of it. And we have already done so.
This action, according to officials, is to recoup significant amount owed to the government and to prevent further encroachment on public land. Buildings sealed off were FIRS, Ibro Hotel, PDP National Secretariat, and outlets of Total Filling Station, a branch of Access Bank, among others.
And later that day, President Bola Tinubu gave 14 days grace to defaulters to settle outstanding ground rents with associated penalties. For owners of properties in the central area, a sum of 5 million naira will be paid by the defaulters as penalty, in addition to the ground rent owed. Those in Maitama, Asokoro, Wuse 2 and Guzape districts will pay 3 million naira as penalty, in addition to the ground rent owed. While the defaulters in Wuse 1, Garki 1 and Garki 2 will pay 2 million naira as penalty, in addition to the ground rent owed. And on Tuesday, President Bola Tinubu requested the approval of both chambers of the National Assembly for a fresh external borrowing plan of more than $21 billion. The president also requested approval for a $2 billion bond program and domestic bond issuance of more than 700 billion naira.
In a letter read at plenary by the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, President Bola Tinubu is seeking the lawmakers' approval for 3 major financial proposals. Top on the list is a $21.54 billion external borrowing request, part of the 2025 to 2026 rolling plan to fund critical sectors like infrastructure, education, health, agriculture, and security. Also included is a $2 billion foreign currency bond program to be issued in Nigeria's domestic market through the Debt Management Office, an initiative aimed at job creation and boosting forex inflow. In a third letter, the President seeks approval for a 757.98 billion naira bond issuance to settle pension liabilities under the Contributory Pension Scheme. President Tinubu says this will provide relief for retirees and strengthen confidence in the system.
This is referred to the Committee on Local Debts, Local and Foreign Debts, to also revert to the Senate within 2 weeks. Your generation is the future of our nation, and we have no doubt that you will shape Nigeria into a brighter, more prosperous, and more equitable society.
Senator Sumaila Kawu used the opportunity to spotlight an urgent concern, which is the rising wave of drug abuse among youths, citing a recent expose as a wake-up call for the nation.
While still on Tuesday, the People's Democratic Party threatened to resist alleged attempts to turn Nigeria into a one-party state. Acting National Chairman Iliya Damagum said this after the party's NEC meeting in Abuja.
The NEC meeting of the PDP holds at a time the party is grappling with serious internal challenges that threaten the party's unity and electoral prospects. The 99th National Executive Committee meeting, attended by key party leaders and stakeholders, seeks to address the growing concerns over defections, coalition strategies and the party's overall direction ahead of upcoming elections. During the meeting, PDP National Chairman Iliya Damagum emphasized the importance of solidarity among members as the party faces a crucial period in Nigerian politics. He acknowledged the recent defections of several prominent members to rival parties, stating that these moves highlight not just the challenges it faces but also the urgent need for introspection and unity within its ranks. Prominent party leaders called for a more robust alliance strategy that could bolster the PDP's strength against the ruling All Progressives Congress.
Governors are united. We are ready to work. No amount of intimidation or exclusion by the federal government will make us give in, because there is a lot of it.
As the party of the people, we must recommit to healing these wounds and restoring faith among our members.
The NEC meeting concluded with a commitment to fortify party structures at all levels, foster engagement with grassroots supporters, and enhance communication within the party.
And still in the week under review, leaders from at least 15 African countries converged on Lagos to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Economic Community of West African States. General Yakubu Gowon joined President Bola Tinubu and other dignitaries to reflect on the journey and development of the regional bloc.
50 years after a treaty for regional cooperation was signed, ECOWAS leaders returned to where it all started. It was nostalgic, particularly for General Yakubu Gowon, who is the last of the founding fathers alive. This was an event to also reflect on the journey of regional cooperation and re-strategize on setting realistic goals for the future.
The post-Cold War era is over. New divisions are emerging. Technology is advancing at an extraordinary pace. The pressure on the old order is intense. It does not mean the arguments for multilateralism are diminished. On the contrary, we need ECOWAS more than ever to meet the challenge of unfiltered data, unregulated cryptocurrency, AI, climate change, organized crime, cyber slavery, and human trafficking and violent extremism.
Today, we have gathered here to celebrate 5 decades of regional solidarity, of standing side by side through times of hope and hardship, of building the most integrated regional economic community on the African continent. Today, ECOWAS represents more than an institution. It is a symbol of the enduring aspiration of over 400 million citizens.
President Bola Tinubu, as chairman of the Authority of ECOWAS Heads of Government, declared his commitment to the ideals and philosophies of ECOWAS founding fathers.
We are embracing innovation to drive growth from internet exchanges, platforms like ECOGO, which strengthen gender reporting and regional accountability. Despite our progress, challenges remain. Our greatest task now is implementation. We are lagging behind on implementation. And I urge all member states to match policy with action.
General Yakubu Gowon still has fond memories of the 1975 ECOWAS Treaty. He acknowledged the resilience and unity of the regional bloc.
There are military, there are other democratic in the government, but the military are making sure that we do things democratically, but militarily democratic.
50 years after the ECOWAS Treaty was signed by 15 countries, 3 countries have opted out of the regional bloc due to political disagreements.
Well, let's flash back to Thursday when President Bola Tinubu marked his second year in office with a message to Nigerians assuring them that the government's reforms are working and will continue to yield positive results. The president emphasized that Nigeria is better positioned for growth and state revenues have increased by more than 6 trillion naira in 2024, and also the now reduced debt burden, meet salaries and pension obligations. Mr. President concluded his message with this quote, "The future is bright and together we will build a stronger and more inclusive Nigeria that we can all be proud." End quote. And on Friday, the death toll from the flood disaster in 2 communities in Mokwa local government area of Niger State rose to 111 and over 3,000 people displaced. But as of today, the death toll now stands at 151. The Niger State Emergency Management Agency said the flood hit Tifin Maza and Angwan Hausawa communities in Mokwa town following a heavy downpour that lasted several hours. Mokwa is a flood-prone area due to the proximity to the River Niger. And that's it on TVC News Tonight, which also featured flashback, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. And for more stories we are monitoring, you can check us on our website, tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on all our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and on X at TVC News NG. On YouTube, we are live at TVC News Nigeria. Many thanks for watching. I am Esther Omopariola. On behalf of the team, have a beautiful night rest.